morning. Am I live? Am I in the right place? Good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to Fit in 15, but today is Fit in 15 with a little bit of difference. I just wanted to acknowledge that it's Menopause Awareness Month, but also menopause, women's health, women over 35 and beyond is right at the heart of what I do and why I do it and why I've decided to kind of navigate my own path in terms of health, well-being, nutrition in a certain way. So I just wanted to spend October's Fit in 15 talking about a subject that still is not talked about enough. There's not enough awareness, there's not enough education, there's not enough knowledge, there's still a lot of fear, there's still a lot of mickey taking, we don't give our bodies enough credit, or don't give ourselves enough credit for what our bodies are doing. We don't want to spend, a good potential decade in misery, put up and shut up. But there are lots of ways to help ourselves. But I think first and foremost, just because I talk about it all the time, I make a lot of assumptions. And as I'm kind of, speaking to more and more people, and the media now is bringing in. Davina McCall was brilliant with her program because people watched it and it highlighted what's going on. It's something I've been talking about for years and I've researched for years. So I was just like, yay, somebody's talking about it. And I think, my other fellow Fit Pros, people of, my age and above, we're all here wanting to support and take care and help you and women look after themselves in their prime of their lives, where we can be still in our prime, but actually we probably feel a bit less than that. So what is the menopause? Well, first of all, it's not an illness. It's definitely not an illness. It's a natural occurring event. It's going to happen to 50% of the population. And it is the changing levels and diminishing levels of our sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone and testosterone, that stop us not being productive anymore. Actually, there are 3 different stages. You've got your premenopause, you've got your perimenopause, and you've got your postmenopause. And actually, in terms of menopause itself, the word menopause, believe it or not, menopause is just one day. Actually, it's that magical day where in the UK it's supposed to be 51/52, where your periods have stopped and you haven't had one for a year, and everything, you found the elixir of life and off you go. It's those years before premenopause and perimenopause, which are the years whilst you're going through the menopause, and that can start at any age. The thing I get told the most, or when I talk about what I do and why I do it, I'm too young for the menopause, that doesn't affect me, or I've been there, done that, I'm over the menopause. But actually, without the same levels of those sex hormones, there are things that our body doesn't quite do as well, and so therefore it's still really important to take care of ourselves in ways that perhaps we didn't before, or just adapt and tweak because our physiological body has changed somewhat. So it can happen at any age. There does tend to be an average age where hormones start to shift and diminish from 35, and they don't just plummet and they don't just happen overnight. It's gradual, and so therefore we don't notice them, and neither should we. It should be a natural occurrence. But there are people who have very early menopauses, and there are people who are forced into menopause, either whether that's through surgery, whether it's through illness. There are certain cancers, there are certain cancer treatments that can trigger early menopause, and then you will be looked after and should be looked after. And if you haven't been looked after, in terms of making sure you get the right hormone replacement therapy because it's happened early, then make sure that you have and you do. So, women will spend probably a third of our lives in menopause, as in post-menopause. That's a really hefty chunk of our lives. So why wouldn't we want to take care of our bone health, our heart health, our brain health, and our physical well-being? Because it's the holistic approach to looking after ourselves that works. Our body is no longer kind of has no longer got all those hormones. Those hormones are responsible for far more than, particularly estrogen, is responsible for far more than just the ovaries and reproduction. It's responsible for lots of other things. It kind of co-works with lots of other hormones and lots of other bodily functions, which is why we can't tolerate things as much, which is why we find things change. Bear with me 1 second. Okay, so you know, there's a number of things to look after ourselves. One is taking care of your lifestyle, your nutrition, how you eat and how you move. I don't mean beasting yourself at the gym, and I certainly don't mean being on a diet. There are people you can talk to. Talk to your family and friends about what you're feeling, what's going on, changes that you feel. Also, maybe think about going to your GP, chat to them, find a women's health specialist within your GP practice. Go privately and find a women's health specialist if you can't find one. The education within GP practices, they hold their hands up themselves. It's not there. Their knowledge isn't there. It's being worked on and it's coming, but in terms of how GPs are trained and the amount of time that people spend learning this, it's not quite enough. So the support and the infrastructure hasn't quite been there. Neither has the knowledge and the education. So it is coming, it is changing. It's wonderful to see. But don't just stop at one place. You can find other things. There is acupuncture too, there's homeopathy, there's all sorts of other things. There's also a wonderful app called the Balance app, which has been created by the menopause doctor, Dr. Louise Newson. She's wonderful. I thoroughly recommend getting that app to download, to diarise how you're feeling. Having a diary of how you're feeling helps create or helps look at patterns that you might be experiencing. But also she has brilliant papers. She has some great tips and advice. Her website's great, and she's just a great font of real knowledge. And she's working hard. She's working hard with the COVID teams, but she's also working hard with the NHS too, to help make sure that the right level of support is available to each and every one of us, as it should be. Got problems going on in on this side. So not the problem, but the thing with the menopause is there are so many different symptoms, and those symptoms can often get kind of intertwined and mistaken with just regular life. So I think it's fair to say, in my own perception of the menopause, probably 10, 15 years ago, was a hot flushes and your period stop, and that's probably where my knowledge ended. But actually it's far more than that, from lack of concentration, brain fog, depression, sadness, teariness, mood swings, dry vagina, UTI, urinary infections, tinnitus, bone health deteriorating, aches and pains, itchy skin. The list is potentially endless. Feeling overwhelmed, anxiety, panic attacks. The list is almost endless, and it's easy to kind of blame and pinpoint, oh, that must be me, I have all of those things. And it's not, we can't blame them all. However, what I think we do as women is, it's really easy to go, well, yeah, I'm a bit more stressed because I am, and I'm not sleeping as well because, well, I've got this going on and I've got that going on. And normally, and the thing is the menopause or the perimenopause, because the perimenopause are those years before the menopause. So the menopause is literally that one day, and then you're in your menopausal years where your periods have stopped, all of this has gone away, your hormones are naturally where they should be, and you can't reproduce anymore. So the perimenopause years can last 15 years, 10 years, 4 years, 5 years. Everybody is different, we're all unique. But it's in that time of our lives where we are normally super busy. It's normally the height of your job, your career, motherhood, parenthood. Potentially you've got empty nest syndrome. Potentially you may be thinking of early retirement. Financial burdens are probably at their peak. And there's a lot, you're caring for not only youngsters or young adults or teenagers, you're also potentially looking after older parents. Maybe you're losing people in your life, so there's grief. There's a whole raft of stuff going on, so it's easy to go, this is just me and my lot right now, and I'm not coping very well. However, there are some differences, particularly with the brain fog, the inability to handle or feel a bit overwhelmed by things that you perhaps usually took in your stride. There may be things in your job that you're suddenly finding a bit panicky, or you're struggling to do as well, and it's just a feeling of not being as sharp, not and not feeling quite yourself, but something you can't put your finger on it. You know you're not depressed, but you know you're crying more, or you're more teary, or you're prone to be shouty, or your tolerance is not there, or you're just kind of going, can't do all these things at once. Where actually you used to thrive on being a huge multitasker, and women are in general brilliant multitaskers, but things are just not feeling quite how you want to feel, and that's not a great feeling. And it's happened, continues to happen. We're all a work in progress, and things happen. It's been happening to me, and and the other thing that changes is our body's ability to deal with food and drink in the same way. So potentially you see an expansion of your waistline, or a change in your physicality, despite perhaps eating less and moving more. So there's all sorts of things that go on, and nothing should be blamed. Nothing has to be a misery, but things can be eased, is what I'd like to call them. And so how we move and how we look after ourselves is so key when we have these diminishing levels of hormones. And it's about looking after your future self and your future health, because estrogen plays a massive role in our heart and our brain health, and so we do need it, just like we need cholesterol. Lots of people fear cholesterol, but we need cholesterol, just like we need fat, just like we need carbohydrates. We need these things for our body to optimize as the wonderful machine that it is. So, you know, investing and looking after your future health at a time when those hormones are changing is quite key. Estrogen is really key in bone health, which is why women are more susceptible to osteopenia, osteoporosis, brittle bones, which is why it's important that we keep our bones strong. We can do that in many ways, but the best way is resistance training and loading those bones. They work well. That's how we increase our bone density. So if you don't already lift and load, then you need to in some way. It's pushing, it's pulling, it's bending, it's sitting. It could be just the gardening that you're doing, but it might be a little bit more than that. It might be just, you know, pushing yourself off a chair, pushing yourself down off a worktop, standing up and sitting down off a chair more than one time, climbing stairs. It doesn't have to be. Certainly long, slow cardio is not helpful to a woman of a certain age. Yes, do it if it makes your headspace feel great, but you don't have to be. That's not a way to help create a fat burning machine. We want our metabolism to stay stoked. It's like a furnace. We want to keep our metabolism stoked. Our metabolism is what helps us burn energy efficiently, and our muscles is what gives us shape. And if we're not using them, we're not loading them, then they will disappear. We lose it, and we're losing it anyway after 35, and each decade we have less muscle mass. We need our muscle mass. That's not, the word mass isn't a great word because it makes people think hench, but you know, it's not about that. It's about filling the skin with a shape to be strong so that you can move the way that you want to move. So the menopause can affect your relationships with friends, affect your relationships at work, can affect your relationships at home, as you feel like sometimes you're having a personality transplant. And you're not, but you can be very, very up and down, and it's that erratic mood and that unknown sometimes. You don't know what's going to trigger it, that perhaps, you know, starts making you self-doubt, lose a little bit of self-confidence, doubt your ability in the job that you do, doubt your ability as a parent, as a friend, as a wife, girlfriend, mother, daughter, sister, auntie, wherever you are. But the aches and pains that you might be getting, the repeated, you know, urinary infections, the headaches that you might be getting, the things that you kind of are starting to live with may not be just something that's going on because they're going on with other things. It could be that it's a deficiency in your hormones, and we have to think of it as a deficiency of hormones, not something that your body is failing at. and that it is a natural process, but there is help to be had. Yes, the way that the lifestyle, our sleep, sleep, activity, lifestyle, nutrition will all play a massive part, but there are other places to go and get help. And all I would say is that it's really important to talk and chat and seek help to offload. And where that is, just as long as you feel comfortable and safe, it doesn't really matter. Maybe it's at home, maybe it's not at home, maybe it is with friends, maybe it's not with friends, whatever it is, you can always ask me. It is, as I say, what I've been doing for a long time. I started it on a personal journey seven years ago, and then it became part and parcel of my my well-being and health offering. So my Time for Change is my health, well-being, nutrition and fitness program, and it has perimenopause, women's health, hormonal shift, hormonal management, not just from the menopause, but sleep hormones, happy hormones, whatever it may be, but just insulin, cortisol, the whole lot. It's women's health, but it's real food, and it's for real women, people who enjoy food, and it's quite enlightening. There's no fads, no gimmicks, but it helps you to feel how you deserve, and that's all that we want to feel. We want to get out of bed in the mornings and feel happier and healthier, fitter and stronger, able to contend with what our day has to throw at us. It's not going to make all those stresses go away. It's not, nothing is a magic pill. We have to take responsibility and accountability, and perhaps what you've done in the past isn't working anymore. It did, but your body physiologically has changed, and you need to then change with it, and it's working with it rather than against it that can be the difference between night and day. So I could talk forever about it. I am really passionate about it because I know that so many, even my friends actually, that you're suffering in small ways. Nobody's talking about it. There are ways, but I think people see me and what I do and think it's all about, let's exercise and let's, be healthy. I hate the word healthy. I don't really know what it means. But taking care of our health from the inside, here and here, all around, that's all I want to do is to help make your life a better life that you want to lead. That's all. It's just kind of giving the life that you already love. You already have everything you love, but there's just maybe elements that you think, oh, this is just making me feel like crap right now. So I will go, and next week there will be a stress-less fitness session. So it will be just a gentle way to move. It is Mental Health Day on Sunday, so I think it's important to kind of balance. I have balance in what I do, in case you didn't think I did. But so yeah, it's there for you next week. So enjoy the chat. Please comment underneath and let me know what you think, what you're going through, whether or not I can help point you in the right direction. It's not always me that can help, but I probably know a raft of people that can. So enjoy your day, and I shall see you next time. Bye.